If someone suddenly walked away from you without explaining what was happening, without giving you enough time to understand, without warning you that their feelings were changing, or without giving you the closure you deserved, then this message may speak directly to your heart. Because sometimes the hardest endings are not the ones where someone tells you they are leaving. The hardest endings are the ones that happen overnight. One day, everything seems normal. You are talking, you are connecting, you are making plans, you are imagining that this person will continue to be part of your life, and then suddenly, they become distant. Their messages become shorter, their energy changes, their presence disappears, and before you can even understand what happened, they are gone. You are left standing there with questions they never answered. You may have asked yourself, what did I do? Why didn't they tell me? Why did they suddenly change? Was everything between us a lie? And the universe wants you to know something very important. Asterisk, their sudden departure was not necessarily a reflection of your worth. Sometimes people leave suddenly because they have been fighting an internal battle that they never had the courage to communicate. Sometimes they leave because they are confused. Sometimes because they are afraid. Sometimes because they know that staying would require them to change. And sometimes the universe allows someone to leave without warning because their presence was connected to a chapter that had already reached its energetic ending. You simply could not see it yet. There are endings that happen slowly on the outside but quickly on the inside. A person may have been questioning their place in your life for weeks or months. They may have been struggling internally while continuing to behave normally around you. So when they finally leave, it feels sudden to you. But for them, the emotional process may have started much earlier, and this is why you should not blame yourself for failing to predict their departure. You were not supposed to know what they refused to communicate. You cannot prepare for a conversation someone never gives you. You cannot solve a problem someone refuses to explain. And you cannot carry responsibility for feelings that someone keeps hidden. Asterisk, the universe does not want you to punish yourself for someone else's silence. There is a reason this message found you, because you may still be replaying the final days in your mind. You may remember their last conversation with you, their last message, their last look, the last time they said they cared. You may be searching for clues. You may be wondering if there was something you missed. But the universe is asking you to stop searching backward for an answer that may only become clear when you look forward. There is something waiting for you beyond this unanswered question. And you cannot fully receive it while you are constantly trying to understand why someone chose to leave. Sometimes closure does not arrive as an explanation. Sometimes closure arrives as acceptance. You accept that they made a choice. You accept that it hurt. You accept that you deserved communication. And then you decide that their decision will not determine the direction of your life. There is a powerful message here about asterisk divine redirection. You may have believed that this person was supposed to stay. You may have imagined a future with them. Perhaps you had plans, hopes, dreams, or expectations connected to this relationship. So when they disappeared, it felt as though your future disappeared with them. But the universe sees a much bigger picture than you do. Sometimes someone leaves because staying would have taken you further away from yourself. Sometimes you become so emotionally attached to a person that you stop noticing how much of your own peace you are sacrificing. You start accepting inconsistency. You start waiting. You start overthinking. You start trying to become whatever they need you to be. And eventually, you forget the person you were before their uncertainty entered your life. The universe may have allowed this sudden separation to interrupt that cycle. Not because you were being punished, but because you were being protected. Asterisk, what if their departure was protection disguised as heartbreak? Think about that for a moment. What if the universe knew something you could not see? What if staying connected to this person would have created even deeper pain later? What if the sudden ending saved you from months or years of emotional confusion? Sometimes protection does not feel like protection when it first arrives. Sometimes protection looks like rejection. It looks like unanswered messages. It looks like someone disappearing. It looks like a door closing before you were ready. But later, you may look back and realize that the closed door was exactly what forced you to find another path. And there is another important message here. Asterisk, do not confuse someone's ability to leave with their ability to forget you. Those are two completely different things. A person can walk away and still remember you. They can leave and still think about you. They can create distance and still feel emotional about what happened. They can choose silence while carrying memories they never talk about. But your healing cannot depend on whether they regret leaving. You cannot spend your life waiting for someone to realize what they lost. Your life is happening now. Your healing is happening now. Your transformation is happening now. And the universe is asking you to come back to yourself. There is a strong energy around reclaiming your power. For a long time, you may have given this person too much emotional authority. Their messages could change your mood. Their silence could ruin your day. Their attention could make you feel valuable. Their distance could make you question yourself. But your worth was never supposed to be determined by someone's behavior. You were valuable before they arrived. You remained valuable while they were present. And you are valuable now that they are gone. Their departure did not remove anything from you. It only revealed what was already there: your strength, your emotional depth, your ability to survive disappointment, your ability to rebuild, your ability to keep loving life even after something breaks your heart. And the universe is preparing you for a different emotional frequency. You may soon notice that you are no longer attracted to the same kind of inconsistency. You will start recognizing the difference between chemistry and compatibility. You will recognize the difference between someone who wants you and someone who is actually ready to build with you. You will stop romanticizing confusion. You will stop calling silence mysterious. You will stop interpreting breadcrumbs as love. And that is a major spiritual shift. Because once your standards rise, certain connections can no longer remain in your life. Some people will naturally fall away. Some doors will close. Some relationships will end without warning. And although it may hurt, the universe is creating room for peace, room for stability, room for genuine connection, room for someone who does not make you question where you stand. There is also a message here about unexpected good news. The same period that felt like loss may eventually become the beginning of something you never expected, a new opportunity, a new connection, a new environment, a personal breakthrough, a change in your confidence, a financial improvement, a journey you never planned. Something can arrive after the ending that changes the way you understand the ending, and one day you may look back and say, I understand now, not because someone finally gave you every answer, but because your life became so much bigger than the question. That is what the universe wants for you. A life where this person's departure becomes a small chapter instead of the entire story. So if someone left you without prior warning, please hear this clearly. Asterisk, you did not deserve to be abandoned without communication. You are allowed to acknowledge that it hurt. You are allowed to miss them. You are allowed to feel angry. You are allowed to wonder what happened. Spiritual growth does not mean pretending something did not hurt. It means allowing the pain to move through you without letting it become your identity. You can miss someone and still move forward. You can love someone and still choose yourself. You can wish they had handled things differently and still accept that they did not. You can leave the door emotionally unlocked for forgiveness without standing beside that door waiting for them to return. And if they ever come back, let the universe reveal their intentions through actions, not promises, not memories, not emotional words, actions. Because the version of you that is emerging now deserves consistency. You deserve someone who communicates before disappearing, someone who tells you when something is wrong, someone who can have difficult conversations, someone who does not make you feel like you need to become a detective just to understand their feelings. That is the kind of love you are moving toward. And if this person never returns, it does not mean the connection was meaningless. Some people enter our lives to awaken something. They teach us what we want. They teach us what we do not want. They reveal our patterns, they expose our wounds, they force us to grow, and then they leave. Not every soul connection is designed to last forever. Some are designed to transform you. And perhaps this person did exactly that. They left without warning. But their departure may have started a transformation they never realized they were creating. You began choosing yourself. You became more aware. You became stronger. You became more selective. You began understanding your emotional needs. You learned that love without communication is not enough. And most importantly, you learned that someone's decision to leave cannot determine your decision to live fully. So take a deep breath, release the unanswered questions. Release the urge to replay the past. Release the fantasy that you could have behaved differently and somehow prevented their departure. You did what you knew how to do with the information you had. You cannot rewrite a conversation that never happened. You cannot control another person's choices, but you can choose what happens next. And the universe is telling you that what happens next can be beautiful. This ending is not the end of your story. It is a transition, a redirection, a clearing, a doorway. Something old has moved away from your path, and something new is being given space to approach. You may not understand it today. You may still have tears in your eyes. You may still miss them. But there will come a day when the weight becomes lighter, the memories become softer, the questions become quieter, and your heart begins to understand what your mind could not understand at the beginning. They left without prior warning. But the universe did not abandon you. The universe stayed. It stayed through the silence. It stayed through the confusion. It stayed through the nights when you questioned everything. And it is still here, quietly guiding you toward what is meant for you. So trust the redirection, trust the closed door, trust the silence, trust the timing, and most importantly, trust yourself. Because you are entering a chapter where you will no longer beg for clarity from people who choose confusion. You will no longer chase people who choose distance. You will no longer shrink yourself to keep someone from leaving. You are becoming someone who understands that what is truly aligned with you will not require you to abandon yourself. Let them go if they choose to go. Let the chapter close if it needs to close. And if something is genuinely meant to return, it will find its way back with clarity, honesty, and changed behavior. Until then, keep walking. There is more waiting for you. Your story is bigger than the person who left. Your future is bigger than this ending. And the universe is not taking something away from you. It is making room for something you have not yet seen. Trust that. Your next chapter may be far more beautiful than the one you thought you could never live without.